a lot to unpack there when we get into a strategy phase. So you're compelled by going digital. You want to know how to do it, what to do. As part of a UX, in other words, user experience strategy, any part of this or the foundation of this is users. And to that end, you have to meet with your users, and you can do this in the beginning, you can do this in the middle, you can do this in the end. The more that you can meet with them and find information from them and insights and unmet needs and all these other things, and as frequently as you can, the more informed and differentiated your product will be. This is especially important as many other companies are wanting to go digital and wanting to modernize and have these great user experiences. How is your product going to be differentiated or competitive if everyone sort of has table stakes and very common things across the board? So this is the way to meet with your exact end users, brokers, employees, employer groups to understand what would be a great product. So that would be the first thing in any user experience strategy. And then basically you want to take as much information as you can glean from those people and turn those into overarching principles, guidelines, sort of North Stars to inform your design team so they can take those. And there's going to be thousands of micro decisions made from developers, from project managers, product owners, designers all the time. And the more they have those visionary statements or artifacts to look at and make decisions from, the more you can drive success with that experience. So that's where design principles will come into play. These are things like the differentiating statements that make your product unique that you're going to adhere to. I don't want to get on a tangent. Kevin, you know how I get about design principles, so we'll pause on that one. But those are design principles, and then you can also craft experience visions or journey maps, visual artifacts that basically give you a high level view of where you're going and how you can make decisions. So are we making decisions based on this sort of pain point in this one area of the experience? Or are we making decisions based on the end, that type of thing? So you'll give all that to the design team, they'll execute. You want to follow up frequently. You want the design team doing critique, which is basically how well or not is my design decision, my design solution meeting the objectives of the project, meeting the vision. And so the design team will run through those activities. Once there's a design to test, ideally you get that in front of users to test how well or not it's meeting those needs in terms of usability. And then lastly, you want to get the designs in front of developers with style guides and basically guidelines on how to implement. And ideally also you get your designers with the development team so you can support them and maybe there's something you didn't design and you put off just to get to some meatier features. You can help them understand what was intended with some button. Where does this button go? How does, when I click the back button, where does that go? And all these other things. So the more you're collaborating on this vision and these principles as a team, the more those decisions get a lot easier and the more you can actually realize success with what you initially intended. So I'll pause there.
I've got a follow-up for you on that, Nick, or at least around the research. So one of the things I hear a lot when speaking with folks about research is they'll say, I'll often quote one of two famous innovators, Henry Ford, who said that if I'd asked my customers what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. He didn't actually say that, by the way, but I still hear it all the time. The second one, I think, actually was a real quote, which Steve Jobs said something to the effect that if I'd asked my customers what they wanted, they would have said a faster BlackBerry, or one with a bigger screen or a better keyboard or whatever it might be, but not an iPhone. The point, though, is what they're trying to convey is that people who use technology don't know how to inform the development of a next generation or a better product. And so I'm curious how you react to that sort of critique or concern around speaking with end users.
Yeah, you want to study behavior. You don't want to study words. So it's like do as I say, not as I do. There's another funny sort of analogy, and that's if you watch someone go through the grocery store and they say I eat healthy, but then you watch them buy chips or soda or whatever. So you want to study actual behavior. a bad question to ask a user would be, what do you think? Or do you like this? Actually, is probably the worst one. You know, do you like this? This is a leading question. This is biased. You want them to like it. Ideally, they do. But really, when you want to study behavior, so you can ask things like, what are you seeing on this page? What are you seeing? Like, I see all kinds of things, but what's your experience like? You can ask them to accomplish tasks for you. Can you go ahead and sign up, enroll for this benefit, and watch them and observe? So the more you're quiet and the more they're talking, the better off you'll be. So it's a really important point. Another question I've heard often asked is, what would you like? Like, can you just tell me what the requirements are so I can go do them? And it's really hard for people to do it. And so innovation doesn't come that way. It comes from trying to gain insights across patterns of people and your competitors as well. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. Kara, I wanted to give you a chance to jump in if you had any thoughts.
I do. Actually, it's a little bit of a joke, but not a joke. You know, people bond over mutual hatred way more than they do over mutual appeal. And so when you're talking to people and asking them, you know, if you say, what do you want? You know, so it's not necessarily a design informed or an insurance informed response that you're going to get. It's going to be more about the other buying experiences that they have through some of the other sites that we've talked about, like an Amazon like experience, things like that. So I agree wholeheartedly with Nick that you have to be really careful in the questions that you ask. And, you know, the survey work is really, really important because you can glean from that more around where's the pain, and also following kind of that customer journey and having a key metric around where's leakage, where are we losing people in this process, and why? Are we losing them because it's boring? Are we losing them because it's too complicated? Like, why are we losing the attention of those individuals? And you know, it's kind of that combination, right? So you're asking them questions about their experience, both good and bad, but you're also combining that with the actual behavior. So like you had mentioned, Kevin, that their behavior doesn't always follow either computer logic or logic in general. And sometimes, you know, we think everyone wants a million choices, but we also know there's analysis paralysis when that happens and people get overwhelmed. And so finding that balance, I think, is really important.